Welcome to our third week of our journey through John's Gospel. As we begin today's video, again, let me ask you a question. How have you responded to Jesus? You see, in the end, we all have to answer that question. It's impossible to stay neutral about Jesus. As we'll see, it is in these chapters that things begin to get a bit dicey for Jesus. Those who love him begin to love him more. Those who hate him begin to hate him more. A line is being drawn in the sand. In chapter 10, we find that Jesus is about to be stoned and has to escape to the other side of the Jordan. In chapter 11, we read of the raising of Lazarus back to life, an event that we would have thought would have won the favor of all, but instead only gave his opponents more reason to call for his death. As the story goes on, Jesus speaks about his impending death. He predicts his betrayal by one of those whose feet he has just washed. And he speaks of the denial that will come through Peter's lips, one of his closest disciples. It's all very intense and troubling. You can almost feel the temperature rising among the disciples. And thus, I guess it makes absolute sense that in the face of all that Jesus was facing and the anxiety that was building among his disciples, that Jesus says in chapter 14, "Do not let your hearts be troubled," as he calls them to faith in him and points them to the place he was going to prepare for them. Well, how have you responded to Jesus? You see, if you'll believe in who Jesus said he was, you will have the assurance that he is with you in and through all things in this life, and that he will one day take you to be with himself in that place he has prepared for you. So let's trust him with our lives, let's love him, and let's worship him. Well, God bless you, and let's continue reading through John's Gospel.